When you have a great culture, you tend not to notice it. When you have a toxic culture, you pay a lot of attention to it. You notice how corrosive it is to the organization and the people involved. It doesn't have to be that way. Today, I want to talk about 4 tools to help you lead your culture. Even though culture is amorphous and ambiguous, it doesn't mean that we're stuck with it. We can change it and we can shape it. And transformative leaders know the tools, how to use them, and shape culture over time. I want to share with you 4 tools to help you shape the culture of your organization. The first tool is statements to make the culture and our aspirations explicit. This is most often done with vision, mission, and value statements. These might be written down, might be on a website, they might change over time. These are best when they are collaboratively designed and written and authored and brought to life throughout the organization. The second tool we use are stories. Stories are powerful transmitters of our culture. We can think about stories in terms of creating them, telling them, and connecting them. Creating them means creating experiences or opportunities at a retreat or an offsite or an adventure or meeting or celebration that are stories we will tell over and over again. The second part is telling those stories, sharing them repeatedly to new people when they come on board at major moments, at important times, and throughout the organization's lifespan. We also want to make sure when we're telling stories that we're using the right pronouns. We don't want to talk about what happened to me and what I think. We want to talk about we and us. You don't want this to be your culture. You want this to be our culture. The third tool we can utilize are structures. Structures are simple, visual, and we see them all the time. In your life, there's simple structures like a wedding ring is a structure that has so much meaning, visual, touch it, feel it, and it means so much. Or it might be the poem on the lock screen on your phone, or the song you use to wake yourself up at your alarm each morning. It might be the painting you have right above your monitor as you're watching this video. For organization, structures might be the mission, vision, and values that we have printed out and laminated and passed around. It might be the quote that we all use in our email signature. It might be the model of the sailboat in the lobby entryway of our offices. So structures are simple, visual, and we see them all the time. The fourth tool are rituals and traditions. These are things that we repeat often, and they're regular, repeated, and symbolic. Regular means that we're going to do them either way. We're going to have the annual retreat, we're going to do the quarterly offsite, we have a weekly staff meeting. These are regular things. Whether anyone thinks about it or it occurs to them, these things are going to happen anyway in the life of the organization. They're repeated, which means they go on and come back, and they're repeated again and again. They're not a one and done sort of situation. And they're symbolic. They're just not an offsite, but there's meaning, there's connection to the kind of culture we want to create. If we want a culture of curiosity, we kick it off with that. If we want a culture of celebrations, we kick it off with that. If we want a culture of learning, then we integrate that into everything that we do. And finally, when we're using these 4 tools, we need to be genuine, consistent, and pervasive. We need to do them repeatedly. One and done won't do it. We need to be genuine and authentic and sincere in our storytelling, in the meaning, in the ways that we do this. And it needs to be pervasive. It can't just be at the senior level, and it can't just be at the onboarding of new employees. It needs to be throughout the organization, throughout the calendar year, throughout the structure, throughout the operations. So, if you have a culture that you want to build, you want to move it from a toxic culture to a better culture, or maybe you have a great culture and you want to maintain it, don't think that culture is something that happens to you. Transformative leaders are always creating, shifting, or maintaining the culture that they want for their organization. You can use these 4 tools: statements, stories, structures, and rituals and traditions. If you want help with your culture, let's connect.